Hello, Bharat.
Yes.
So, in today's session, we'll learn AI life cycle layers. So, before that, let us understand why this AI life cycle is required from this article. So, article is AI layer one, problem and use case definition, where governance begins. So, most AI failures don't start with bad models. They start with bad problem framing when enterprise rush into AI adoption without clarity on the business problem. If you see this one,
Yeah.
uh, I used to see when I used to work with different locations globally. I worked in 8 countries, including India. In every project, in every program teams, there used to be heroes called heroes. Heroes means they know in and
Okay.
out of the applications. They know
Okay.
in and out of the business because they used to work years together in the same roles, vertically grown and having relationships with many people in the organization, okay, including users and vendors also. So with that, what happens? Whatever you need information, the top people used to point to that person. You go and sit with him and learn it. So that's where the heroes, what they do, they learn new technology in the IT industry and they try to build something. They mesmerize the people. I have built this product. We can use it like this. So the top people, because of incapability of the organization, they depend on these heroes without following the process. You understand the difference?
Yeah. Yes.
You might have seen that, right? In many companies in the
Correct.
past.
Correct.
It's many
Yes.
clients also, right?
Yeah.
They will direct to some other person where he is nowhere connected to you, but still they feel you need to learn from him because he is knowledge bank there. So
Yeah.
with that, what happens? The AI might have developed by some people uh, without following the process, without clarity on the business problem also. Maybe
Okay.
timely, he learned it, he built it, he wanted to show it to stop people also. It was shown. They are happy. But the real process is they need to start dialogue with business people. What are the issues they are facing? What plans they have in the business? How to automate those plans through AI? They need to come in a proper channel. So
Okay.
here what happened? Once they build, these heroes build the products, they end up with pilots that never scale. What is pilot? Now you are doing a POC. Yesterday and day for yesterday, we worked hard to get the solution for WordPress site building as a common solution. Whether it is a small WordPress site or bigger website, we got some framework design, solution design. We got the architecture also. We also worked on cloud formation architecting, how we can create stacks by having different code snippets of JSON. We came across that. Due to some technical inconsistencies, we encountered problems. We'll be resolving them later on. But what did you get from this? You followed the approach in a structured way. First thing, you selected a website. Then, what is that website? WordPress website for users creating blogs for business purpose. Then later on, you found the architecture. Then in the architecture, there are different components sitting in AWS or infrastructure architecture. You came up with infrastructure architecture diagram also. Then later on, you worked with cloud formation planning. Then you came up with 15 stacks to build a WordPress website as a common frame. So that is the standard. You followed it, and that you are going to give as a POC in the demos in the course. But later on, if any such kind of issue comes, issue or requirement, building website, the same framework you can use it. That POC can be converted into pilot project with this concept. Concept can be enhanced to implement a pilot project for one unit, for one website. Is it correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So that's they end up with pilots that never scale. But pilot end up, why it is saying they did not follow the governance what we followed from the beginning.
Okay.
What are the governances? There are different steps. We adopted it. One is architecture standard, another one is stacks standard, and cloud formation process, all these things, right? And
Yeah.
governance gaps that regulators quickly responds. What is regulator? Let us say if you want to build a WordPress site or website for posting blogs in different countries, each country will have their own security policies. We need to embed them while deploying into that also. It doesn't mean simply you put into auto scale and scale up into different locations by giving the script or something, not like that. In that country, what are the standards they follow? If you take
Okay.
Amazon e-commerce site, website, they can sell products in some countries as a unique selling procedure. But each country has got other countries or each country has got their own provinces and their own policies also. According to that policy only, they need to follow the shipments, they need to sell the items also. If you see in India, we have a GST framework, government taxation, right? So e-commerce item, if you want to sell globally, in India, if you want to sell, the process is different. While calculating for customer, we need to show the GST, right?
Yes, yes.
So that kind of gaps are there. Those gaps also are going to fill through the regulatory authorities, regulatory
Okay.
processes. These are
Yes.
called regulatory processes.
Okay.
This is related with taxation rules, Indian taxation rules to sell
Okay.
the item on e-commerce item. The same way, if you go to US, there can be some other thing. If you go to UK, some other thing can be there while calculating that procedure.
Okay.
This is one small micro information I'm giving to you. What is the regulatory procedure need to be followed also. It means when you are building AI applications, you need to follow this kind of governance structure, right? So
Yeah.
here we are learning the same thing through lifecycle process.
Oh,
So AI lifecycle context wise, if you see, AI is not a one-off build model build. It is seven layers a life cycle. One is problem and use case definition. I'll explain these in high level. Problem and use case means you took one use case to build the WordPress site using manual process, using automation process with IAC infrastructure as a code through CloudFormation in AWS. That
okay.
is the use case. The
Yeah.
problem is the user wanted to build website with IAC
Okay.
infrastructure as a code. Once infrastructure as a code you have given to the user, they can extend to different locations also whenever they want it. Right? That is the problem. Right?
Yes.
Now you converted that into use case. Then you defined it. Then later on, the second layer is data layer. Here in this website, if you see, what are the data layers? Data is very small. You create the blocks or pages. Those will sit in the database. And in S3 bucket, in blocks, if you want to add media files like pictures and videos, such kind of things can store in the database also. That is coming under data layer in this particular website. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So next, third step, model development layer. So let us say you need to develop a model for analysis also. Let us say,
Okay.
what is the analysis? You need to study some blogs, latest trend blogs related to that topic,
Mhm.
and you need to build the blogs also within the website building activity.
Okay.
Assume that.
Okay.
Then further, what you need to do? You need to write a Python script to identify what are the subtopics or topics, then create the content. That content need to be there somewhere in the test file. The test file can be ported into website while creating the blog. It means the process
Yeah.
is what here. First step is plan for website creation. That is phase one. Phase two, need to create the stunning blocks or attracting blocks in the topic. Okay. Now, that blocks, you got the content already. That content you are going to supply through particular files, test files or something to the program. You are going to write the machine learning kind of ML related Python scripts. So there, model development, your layer you are building it. With that, it codes the data. Then later on, what you are going to do, validating that. How are you validating it? The stunning website content is real or unreal? Is it relevant to our problem and use case? You are verifying it. The safety layers are, one is you need to protect the data. How you are going to protect it? Through RDS. RDS has got security policies, procedures are inbuilt, and also it has got serverless computing with the DB activities automated in the backend. Am I right? So you have safer layer in that after
Yes.
validating the site. Then deployment layer. What is
Okay.
deployment? Basically, you are all doing testing up to this part in testing environments. Now you need to make it live. When you want to make it live, there can be separate VPC, there can be separate availability zones, there can be separate subnets, IP addresses, all those will be separate.
Okay.
We're going to deploy that through the IAC script. In the IAC script, you have built that particular design as a solution designer and inbuilt all that which can be run easily in minutes, it can be deployed,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Then production runtime layer. When you're running this website, what happens? You have standing website by seeing the people, those blogs you will be posting in social media. Of course, that is phase three activity to market that blogs. Then
Okay.
people will come and read it. When they read it, your views are going to be accelerated. All those going to be stored in WordPress site, right?
Okay.
So when you deploy it, then production runtime layer also same thing. When you are sharing the blocks in social media, they'll come and check it. Then it is testing. It is a kind of test also for users. Loading user for more users, such kind of things will happen. It like e-commerce site. Then depends on the load. Autoscale is going to increase or decrease the size of the EC2s. Size of the database also. Database means user access permissions are required. It need not be a e-commerce data site kind of thing, but small block site is there. Block site will have 5, 6 blocks, assume that. Those are posted in social media. Now users will click on it. When they click it, it will come as a visitor. When visitor comes, it need to verify security layers, all those things. Then it need to supply the content from the database. That's where it is
Okay.
going on. It is all running under production runtime layer. Got it?
Yep. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then feedback and continuous learning layer. What is the feedback you are going to give in this small site? It is a micro level application also, WordPress means. So you are going to identify the issues. Issues are in access permissions and links clicking, then reading the content, content display, such kind of things. That is the simple thing. But if it is e-commerce site, you're going to work with a full life cycle of the customer in buying one item. Then what are the issues they are getting? Like payment gateway is not working, or shipment email has not come, or tracking link is not working. Such kind of things are going to be reported by the user. If you see in Amazon, what happens? You don't need to write a mail to customer service. They have automated process built on site itself. When you get stuck up, immediately it will show some link. You click on that link, then this particular screen is going to be captured into their database. It is going to set. Then from there onwards, user can revisit the site and he can continue the process of booking the item. Am I right? Did you encounter this kind of issues anytime?
No. So, but
Yeah, that is the process actually.
yeah,
I have
sure.
seen
Sure.
that years together. They built into that. So feedback is going from the user itself, what he is doing. And another thing,
Correct.
user logs are there. That is very much required for any website. User logs. User
Okay.
logs are maintained through production runtime layer, step 6. And cloud monitoring is going to monitor the log files also. It gives the dashboards also in the back to the solution architect. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So next step. The governance is not a separate checklist. It threads through every layer. and it begins here at layer 1. Yes. So from starting point onwards, governance is part and parcel. Okay. Now let us understand this particular chart. Top one is AI lifecycle layer 1. Then problem and use case definition. We understood about the website requirement, where governance begins. The governance is, it starts with problem charter, business alignment. What is the business need? We know that your WordPress website is required to create some stunning blogs to market the content. Then problem and use case definitions are there. We are aligning AI with business goals and risks and compliance review will happen it with regulatory mapping. I discussed with you about a regulatory process for each domain area, business domain area, country-wise also. So all those are part and parcel of the regulatory mapping. So ROI metrics are what value position. So these are the you will see what are the value proposition. It is happening it through having website in that country or in that location. Okay, you're going to give as one of the business goals. Then layer 1, if you see the 7 layers, problem and use case definition is the layer 1. Layer 2 is data layer. It is e-commerce site will have all these things because it is a big site. It has got data handling also. Then layer 3 is model development. Then 4 is validation safety. Layer 5 is deployment. Layer 6 is production runtime. 7 is feedback and continuous learning. You take any project, when Agile introduced it, feedback and continuous learning became a standard one. That is part and parcel of the project sign off. So even if you
Okay.
sign off, there is a post-implementation review happens it. During that time also feedback and continuous learning will be there under warranty period. If you build any new application, it is a kind of warranty will be given 3 months or 6 months to the client under SLA. You know that, right? SLA, service level agreements. Are you aware of
Yes.
service
So
level
yes,
agreement?
yes, yes. I'm aware of
So
service
that
level
is the part
agreements.
and parcel. The governance oversight is accountability is part and parcel of the governance, and
Okay.
audit trail is there. Audit trail, I discussed with you, cloud logs are there. Okay.
Yeah.
So it
Yes.
has got alignment, compliance, and ROI by following these layers. So now,
Okay.
what we are going to do today, we will stop here. Tomorrow
Ah,
onwards, each layer we will discuss it because I
sure,
have
sure.
written with the examples also, live examples also.
Okay.
We're going to see that. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Sir.
You got it, right? Clarity.
Yes, yes, yes. I got it.